What's to do, YouTube? It's Holy One, and I'm going to be discussing what Nintendo has been doing to emulator websites. So, Nintendo has lawsuited Emuparadise. If you guys don't know what Emuparadise is, it's a website that lets you download ROMs and emulators for like old systems, PS2, GameCube, all those other things. They don't give you emulators for like the Nintendo Switch or the Wii U or anything like that. They just give you the emulators and old ROMs. So Nintendo has sued them for $100 million between them and another website. This lawsuit has forced Emuparadise to remove all their emulators, ROMs, and other such, emulators from their website. So this is really sad. This is really upsetting me because when hardware breaks down, whether it's GameCubes, PS2s, PSPs, they all degrade and break. And without emulators, we'll be losing those games. Like, think about it. You may, like the original Mario, that game may be lost to time. Like, we'll never get to see that again in the future without these emulators. And Nintendo is trying to tear that down. This isn't the first time Nintendo has, tried to go after ROM sites, but this time they're really cracking down on these ROM websites, and it's really upsetting. Like most these emulators, if Nintendo would just make them available on the Nintendo Switch, I would just buy them there. I wouldn't do that. Nintendo has always been anti-consumer and anti-competitive, man, since the 80s. I'll give you an example. They tried to sue Blockbuster for game rentals. They used their 10 NES chip to stifle third-party games, starting the practice of DRM on consoles. They also had draconian licensing tactics to stifle, third parties, whether it be, Final Fantasy, where they couldn't put the whole disc on the cartridge, so they had to use the CD, and they had to make it a PlayStation 1 exclusive. So that's all the bad they do. So that's why their third-party relations are bads. They also screwed this up twice in a row, not using the standard media format of DVD. They went these mini DVDs from factors with the GameCube. That also, again, hurt their third-party support and more ports to the PS2 as well. We also got to the Wii and Wii U and the modern Switch, where they are harassing content creators. They make dumb gimmick consoles, aka the Wii, with the motion controls. Yes, I know it sold a lot, but, basically people's families turn it on. Then they stopped there. And that was enough exposure to get the Wii U. I'm going to quote Gabe Newell right now. Gabe Newell once said that software piracy isn't a problem of pricing, it's distribution and service problem. And I intend to agree with him. Before Steam and GOG or Origin became mainstream on the PC side, piracy was everywhere, and DRM like Sikuram was everywhere. Remember when, I'm going to give you an example. You guys remember, this is a while ago, the BioShock had an install limit? It had an install limit. What was the last AAA game to do that these days, where they had to cap your limit of installing a game? Well, piracy does occur still on PC and consoles. It mostly happens when it protests of terrible DRM, such as, Uplay and so on. If Nintendo had just brought the Virtual Console to the Switch, along with your installs you bought on the other Nintendo consoles like the 3DS and the Wii, I'm sure it wouldn't be as much of an issue. Sure, you're able to get your outlier fringe games such as, rareware games like Jet Force Gemini, GoldenEye 07, Banjo-Kazooie, and Mario are the likes of the majority of could download on your Switch. Whatever classic games you wanted to from your library, or even third parties, they were able to sign deals with Microsoft so they could just download the emulator games. I'm sure they can get them unless they hate money. Nintendo's not really getting on that online all that time, so they're still using weak hardware and gimmicks, which really doesn't help them. So if I were to sign up for something like, the Nintendo MPA, but they would just lawsuit anyone if you upload gameplay. So Nintendo has shown anti-consumer practices from the get-go. Like, this isn't anything new. So seeing Emuparadise put out a quote. I'm gonna quote them here. It is unfortunate to our fans that we have to close down our website, but due to this lawsuit threatening those who run the website's families and so on, we are forced to remove our ROMs and emulators from our site. So this isn't going to be the end of ROMs and emulators, but now people have to go on the dark web, download these on other various websites, and possibly get viruses. So what Nintendo doing here is very anti-consumer. Nintendo has always been anti-consumer. The only reason people give Nintendo a pass is because they're like, oh, we just want Nintendo's games. We don't care if they screw us over or anything. That's okay. So if you guys are interested and you're fed up with Nintendo and you want to boycott Nintendo for a while, you could trade in your Nintendo Switch right now for $250 towards a Xbox One X, and you can basically pick up that system and, you know, actually play emulators on it natively. And you just buy the disc, insert the disc, and you're good to go, whether it's OG Xbox games or 360 games. I know Sony, you could get PS2 games, but whatever. I downloaded as many ROMs as I could because a lot of my old systems, like my GameCube, they're degrading, and so is my Wii. They're not really working much anymore. My Switch is already showing degradation, so I might actually consider getting that Xbox One X and trading in my Nintendo Switch and my OG fat Xbox. Not sure yet because I was looking forward to Metroid Prime 4, but I feel like once a system reaches its lifespan's end, like once it's done, like once the PS5 comes out, you know, PS4 is done, they're not making any more games for it. I feel like that should open the floodgate for emulation to, you know, store those games so they don't go away and you can't lose them. Like, I'm sure people would like to enjoy playing The Last of Us, but if that goes away or Sony goes bankrupt and you can't play those digital games anymore, you're screwed. Same with Nintendo. If they go bankrupt, you're done. So, yeah. This was my rant, guys. Thanks for watching. This is your boy, Holy One. Out!